Hello everybody, welcome down to Lecala Golf Resort. I'm Matt Fryer, and in today's lesson we're going to be looking at how you can control your slice. So if you are new to the channel guys and this is one of your first videos, firstly welcome, and don't forget you've got to hit that subscriber button down below and turn on the bell notification so you don't miss any future lessons to help you improve your game. Also do check me out on my social media channels below, you'll see them popping up right now. So how to control your slice, let's get stuck into that lesson. Okay, so controlling our slice. If we can do this, generally we're going to see that we start to hit more fairways, because it is probably something that plagues about 80% of the golf population. And if you don't know, I'll just give you a quick run through. Generally, as we see a slice shot, what we would see is something where the club is traveling from outside the target line and then across it, and the club face itself is open to that one. So if you imagine like a tennis shot, it's very much cut up, or a footballer who kicks it with the outside of his boot, it's going to do this. He's got the face open and the path traveling across it. So what we start to do in an aid to try and actually get the slice into play, we start to aim really out. If straight line is here for me, I would see that I would be aiming a good 30-40 yards, maybe even more sometimes, at another fairway, maybe out of bounds, at trees, to try and allow that ball to curve back across and into the fairway. Problem is, if you're doing that, you might hit that pulled straight one that we've all probably done. You're out of bounds, you're in trouble just by trying to actually compensate for it. So my first tip that I want you to try and do, and it seems a little bit right, what we're going to try and get you doing today is actually hitting it down the right. Now, as a slicer of the golf ball, to do that, it does seem a little bit crazy, but you've got to almost grin and bear it and trust what you're doing and believe in the process, instead of just compounding the problem by making your swing more and more across the target line. So tip number one, let's make sure that we're actually aiming down the center of the fairway and feel that we're swinging down towards our target and not dragging the club across our body and feeling tight there. So it's going to be more towards our target. Then the second tip, and this is the big one that I want you to focus on. Like I say, the face is generally open when we see these. Well, it is open. We see it and then it gets big slice out that way. If we can change that by doing quite a simple thing, we should start to see we can maybe hit some more drawy shots, maybe some pulls to start off with, but we're going to get it better. What I want you to do that, you're going to take a tee or a pencil or something, and you're going to push it into the end of the grip, so it's quite obvious that it's there. We can see it poking out. When we take our setup, we can see that it's there in our eye line as we're looking down. And one of the big things that I see, if we think of this tee and the butt of the golf club now, as we hit the shot, it's always looking out behind me. So it's looking out of my lead side this way. So as I swing through, it's pointing behind me this way, and the face is left open. And then I impart that side spin and I get my slice. So if we can get the focus a little bit more on what the butt of the golf club's doing, hopefully then we can start to square the club up. So what I want you guys to do, once you've placed this tee peg or something into the butt of the club that's not too long and it's not going to cause any issues when you are swinging, I want you to imagine there's a target back behind you now. So if you're at the driving range and there's a mirror or the wall of the bay behind you, what I want you to do is make some practice swings and see, number one, that you get a slightly stronger grip, and then I want you to practice as you're coming down. I want you to try and get the butt now, or the tee peg, just after impact to look into that target behind us. Imagine we're shining a light down here. We're not going to shine the light out behind us, we're going to get it looking at our target to do that. So what I have to do that is actually rotate my forearms and release my hands. It then in turn, if you've noticed, the club face, as opposed to looking up at the sky, once I shine the light at the target back here, what we should see is the club face now has turned over and released. So if I've already aimed a little bit better and I start to do this, even if I was still swinging a little bit out to win, I might hit a pull down the left hand side of the fairway. In time, what we've then got to do is feel that we swing a little bit more out to the right of the target. So my camera's on an angle here, but what I do is feel that I'm shining the light at the target behind whilst also swinging the club out towards the camera angle. So for me, that would be out down the right. And it is a strange concept when you get a slicer to try and aim down the right at the start of the lesson and then bring it back. It's like, does he know what he's talking about? Is this real? I'm already hitting it right. Why would I want to do that? But the more, like I say, the more you aim left and compound the problem, the worse your slice is going to be. Even if you only hit like a 5-yard slice or even a tiny little fade feeling this, you're going to have that slice under more control because you're not putting in the components of what creates the big slice. So it's all about getting the release of the club once you do it. Then once you do that, starting to feel that you're swinging out to the right. Like I say, if you do start to hit some pulls, your brain will get a bit sick of hitting straight pull and it'll want to swing a little bit more out to the right hand side. So go through it in some practice swings, see that you're shining the light into the target behind us, not actually poking out your left hand side. Then once you're comfortable with it, I want you to take dead aim down the centre of the fairway or down the driving range, and you're going to feel that you do it, and you should start to see, hopefully, that you get some straighter shots there. So really solid hit, only a 2-yard fade for me, which is about normal anyway. But I felt that I was really letting my hands pass back there. I wasn't holding on to the club face lows, I let it turn over. So it is one that you'll have to go through a bit of a process to do, guys, and see that you're working it that way and take it to the driving range to start off with. And then the big element is that you trust it out on the golf course. Otherwise, you'll just fall back into the habit of aiming down the left, swinging across it and holding the face. You've got to bite the bullet, even if it's in a practice round that you see. You just commit to hitting a few of these and get it in your system. Start to trust it, and then you should see that you're controlling that slice and starting to hit more fairways, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this week's lesson. If you have, do hit that like button for me. And remember, like I said, do hit the subscriber button down below and turn on the bell notification so you don't miss any future lessons. Also, a big thank you to La Cala Golf Resort. It is glorious here out in Spain at the moment. The courses are fantastic and they're celebrating their 30th anniversary, and to celebrate that, they've done a video series with myself over on their channel aimed at also improving your guys. So make sure you check those out. Check the link in description for more stuff on La Cala. Thanks for watching this week's lesson, and I'll see you in the next one.